the frothing waters subside, the advantage is ours.
Nothing of note. Cove's available. We could go kill the Siren with the damage and experience buff. That wouldn't be terrible. We're not level 4 yet, so it could be harder than we'd give it credit for. We were only level 3s, but it's certainly an option. Alternatively, we could go level the Warrens. Pick another Swift Cloak. I wouldn't be against that. I like Swift Cloaks. This would be the last mission we'd need to bring our last healer on. The last level 2 healer anyways. Would be the Gambler again. Go back into Screaming Pigland. That's always a plus. Billy leveled out of that, perhaps. So I kind of feel like I should let the Arbalest do a mission without a healer. We have so many level 2 guys who are not close enough to level. This is kind of sad. 5 more experience needed. Not everyone has to be level 3, but kind of do want that.
A new subscriber arrives. It fills you with determination.
Kills, welcome to the channel. Thanks for the sub. Caregivers conventions available. Something too. Do you like me some free sanitarium? Don't have the Arbalest bandana. It's all right. I don't know that I'd even bother using it. It's certainly not over a moon ring. It's supposed to be the same item value as a moon ring. 15 accuracy, 20 damage, or 8 accuracy, 2 crit. Weigh those out. I do a level 3 wield. Good. Who would go? My guys are all set up for wheel. We get a wheeled adventurer, a wheeled tactician, and a wheeled explorer. Wheeled is a good one to dodge tank. So Jester and Kuso, or Jester and Hound would be really solid here. Thick-blooded's very good in this because zombies blight you nonstop. Quick reflexes. You get his stress down too. Although giants are a thing. Ooh. Alright guys, I am going to mute the mic temporarily because my wife just brought me lunch. Thank you very much. And see you guys in a little bit. I'll keep playing, but it's going to be a little bit slower as I eat. So.
Our land is remote and unneighbored. Every lost resource must be recovered.
Hey guys, just about finished my lunch. Getting some recovery off this, get the Houndmaster stress down to 0. Now we can probably start killing him now. Dodge tank these two. Want to see the dungeon map? Sure.
Press disadvantage. Give them no quarter.
Seems to auto refocus down here.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Alright.
You have
Finding the stuff is
returned.
only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Welcome back, Awesome Sauce 222. Thanks for the resub, man. Alright. What do we want to do with this? Let's get some dog trees out of our inventory. This is another recovery fight, so if we just dump on the back ranks, should be in good shape. Why can't I Iron Swan? Because for some reason... Oh, because you're on guard. I gotta remember, I don't fucking want on guard of my Hellions, because I want to run this combo, and it screws it up.
Annihilated.
So he's gonna get a mark off now, which is really annoying. That's not bad.
Such a
Crit
terrible
part's not
assault
great.
cannot be left unanswered.
He should be dead this round.
system is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Try to stun again, or start doing a little bit of damage. Am I gonna do a Divinity 2 playthrough? Yes, I am. Won't probably do it on stream, but I will do it on the YouTube. So for those of you who like RPGs, should be something. It's not out yet though, right? I'm still waiting on that. My understanding is it's not out yet. They can, like, release some like strange. I haven't looked at a release date in a couple weeks probably, so I don't know when. Maybe longer than that even. I don't know when it's supposed to be released. I just know it's sometime soon-ish. Get wrecked, zombies, get wrecked. The only downside of this comp, I think, is the total lack of disease curing. No, at least dead yet. Okay. I got a while yet. I played through the alpha. I've beaten the alpha. And I've pre-ordered the game. And it's pretty fun. I sometimes don't like the humor in the game. I find it a little too silly for my taste, but I really like the combat mechanics. Although I wish there was cover. I like find that I'm like, oh, I wish I could put my casters behind cover here, and all you really can do is line of sight. Alright. No hits here, please. Good. Good.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Pretty solid. You've got Brawler's Gloves and a shovel. Kind of want both. Alright. It's annoying when that happens.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Okay. I don't know about complex strategic depth. It has a fun combat system, I'll give you that. And I really do like it, and they've said that one of their things they're trying to emphasize this time around is that the difficulty will scale across the course of the game. Because in the first one, once you got to a certain level, all the fights were just face rolls. You just one-shot pretty much everything all the time. It's really boring, the combat system. The first part of the game, especially when you were learning it and you didn't really understand how to min-max all the character builds and whatnot, was awesome. Because you're like, oh my god, I got action points, I've got all these skills, I got all sorts of options. Like, you know, they were just, and it was hard and it was really cool and I really liked it. That said,
As the fiend falls,
the end game of the first one was pretty bad,
blossoms.
just because it was too easy. So they've said that one of their goals is to make it harder across the course of the game, and if it can keep that difficulty level across the course of the game, and I've only played the alpha only has, at least when I played it last, only has 2 difficulty levels, the bottom 2 difficulty levels. There's supposed to be 2 more difficulty levels coming. So I would really like it if I can play on, like, impossible essentially. I want to play on the hardest difficulty level, and it's really challenging, and it's really in depth, and it stays that way across the course of the game. I'm gonna have so much fun with the game if that's true. I'm really hoping that's what happens. We'll see. So I'm excited about the game. I'm super excited about the game. No, I hated that QED. I hate having to min-max stealing. I hate stealing in RPGs. Ever since the first time I encountered it, and like, I think it was like Baldur's Gate 1, or I don't know, something. I would have been in high school, maybe like freshman year of high school for me, which would have been, I graduated high school in 2002, so like
To the spreading
98,
corruption.
99, whatever came out around there. And I was playing, like watching a friend play an RPG, and I had never really played computer RPGs. I'd played MMO RPGs, but never single player RPGs. And he was like stealing every single cabinet out of every single house in a town. I'm like, fuck this, I'm not playing this game. There's no way you can get me to do that. And I hated that about Divinity 1, because I did have to do that. So. I think it was Baldur's Gate. Yep. Animation casting mods would be good. Okay, this is a little bit awkward fight. It's a really good start, though. We have dog biscuits left? We don't. Let's do stun there.
Impressive.
Stun there. Fallout, steal everything too. Yeah, I don't like that, and I hate the fact that I don't do very much first-person RPGs like that. Like Fallout really doesn't do a lot for me, and I hate the ones where I have to go into every room and check every single barrel. I don't want to check barrels. I really do not like that mechanic. It's a tedious mechanic that every piece of everything on the map has to be interacted with, and not like, and you just have to click it. Like that's the whole thing. Like that's the game mechanic. It's not like, oh, you enter an area, you clear out the enemies, and it's like your party searches the area and discovers such and such. That would be fine. I could just click next and get all the items out of that. I have to go to each fucking garbage container, pick it up, look under it. Oh, look, we get one breadcrumb and one bottle cap, and no, I don't like that. We're about to be shat on by this guy. He's about to shuffle us and crit us, because that shuffle crits way too much.
On its own.
Yep, there could be some cool stuff. I find generally the stealing in those games is generally more tedious than it is fun.
Grievous injury. Palpable fear.
I could dodge tank this guy, kinda. Get rid of that dot too. Okay, get rid of the dot. It's not like we're gonna kill him this round. So first word, Divinity worth trying out? Yes, it's super fun in the early game, and even if you never beat the game, there's hours and hours of entertainment to be had in the early game that are definitely worth playing. I really like Divinity: Original Sin. 110 stun resist, got 154 base chance. That's not even terrible. Yeah, I don't know how to balance the stealing mechanic. I have no idea. I just don't like tedium in my games. You know, like I don't want to have a fight where I have to fight a crab for 111 rounds just to get down to 0 stress in a mechanic that I'm guaranteed to get down to 100 0 stress eventually anyways. Like, that mechanic is not really exciting. Forgot this was a gather quest. I should have gone lighter on my inventory. I don't think I'm taking a sapphire. I don't think it's going to make it home ever. So let's just drop that. I should camp soon. What about RNG item drops? That's okay. I don't mind that. I don't want any sort of mechanic where I have to farm item drops. That was one of the other things I didn't like about Divinity 1 is I had to go from vendor to vendor to farm vendors based on items. Didn't like that very much either. But just it didn't even matter, right? Like, didn't matter. All these negatives I'm saying were so far outweighed by the positives of that combat system. That combat system was fucking amazing. Don't mind showing the Houndmaster build. It's just pretty bog standard Houndmaster. He's running heal, his guard, his nuke, and his stun.
Unnerved, unbalanced.
Alright, this guy. Alright with that. 40 stress across the board, double crit AoE nonsense. We need a zombie to recover off of. I'm excited for Pillars of Eternity 2. I didn't know they were making one. I played Tyranny and really liked Tyranny. Tyranny felt maybe a little unfinished. I'm not entirely sure. Just repetitive towards the end. And that combat system grew on me a little bit. Although, I don't know. So am I excited about Pillars 2? I never played Pillars 1. I suppose I could be excited by Pillars 2 if it ended up being an excellent game. Yeah. I mean, I like RPGs, and it's just a bummer. A bummer my audience doesn't seem to enjoy watching RPGs, because I would play more of them. What do we have? 110 stun resist, 154. It's not terrible again.
Powerful blow.
Have I played any Dwarf Fortress? No, I haven't. It's gonna get an action off annoyingly. It was supposed to be group heal. Was that group heal? Yep. Well, at that point, QED, I was looking to see what I wanted to buy. Did I want to try Divinity or did I want to try Pillars? And Divinity's combat system was more interesting to me. I went that route instead. Oh, I absolutely should have stress healed there. I was reading chat. I blame you for so much chat, but to be fair, you guys do. Interaction with chat does distract from my gameplay. I guess I'm going to take a bandage and toss the bandages because I want that item, and I want the gold, and I want the deeds. Fuck. That is unpleasant. Need to camp. Throwing out keys before using them is so bad. Alright. Try faster than light. I've seen the graphics put me off that game. It's not like they're even that terrible, it's just I don't really like games that look like that. And I got so many games on my plate right now. Like so many great games, which is a great problem to have. Like, honestly, the biggest downside I have is figuring out what my viewers want to watch, what you guys want to watch. Because what I want to play is not always what you guys want to watch, which is unfortunate. Alright, let's run Hound's Watch. Run, every rose has its thorn if we want. We can just run Release the Hound, we're going to get a freaking dungeon out of that. Let's run Release the Hound for scouting. And then we can run every rose. Okay. Probably that's overkill.
The way is lit.
The inventory space more than anything else.
We require only the strength to follow it.
I love the mechanics of FTL. I might very well love the mechanics of FTL. I just threw out my inventory. Hey, scouting ping. Curio there.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Quest location. Come back to quest location, stressful. But I like games like Final Fantasy VII if I play RPGs. I watched my brother, as a kid growing up, I watched my brother play Final Fantasy VII on PlayStation. And it was a fun game to watch in parts, but I don't think I would have loved playing it all that much. So, probably not. I mean, it was combat oriented. I don't know. Maybe I could have got into it. It's anime, which I wasn't all that excited about. I don't know. I don't know if I'd enjoy that now, or sequels do that now. God. Let's deal with some of that stress the guy just nuked me with. Stun him again? We can. Not doing enough damage here. I like Deus Ex a long time ago too. That's kind of RPG-ish, although some of the mechanics I don't know if I'd enjoy now. I don't enjoy a lot of the like free targeting, which is going to be interesting for Crowfall. I don't tend to actually enjoy the free targeting RPG style stuff. I don't want it to be skill shots when I'm using weapons. I want it to be thought based on which tactic and which strategy or which spell do I deploy here for the best benefit. That's the type of stuff that I enjoy. I enjoy thinking through my turns and figuring out what I can do with characters. I like the leveling process. Like, it's fun to watch characters get more and more powerful. I just threw out anti-venom, which would have worked on this. I can still get loot here sometimes. I don't like puzzle games. Find them dull. I like combat. I like killing shit. What do we got in here? Do we leave a quest item back? Not yet. Wow. I might have to give up gold. Surely not. Surely we would not throw out gold here. That would be crazy talk. Throw out gold? We're like halfway through this fucking dungeon. Wow. Okay. Do I play MMOs at all? Yeah. I played Shadowbane, World of Warcraft, and EVE Online. I didn't like World of Warcraft very much except for the arena system, which I very much enjoyed. Although it got a little bit repetitive from time to time. I played EVE Online for like 5 years or something. That game was amazing. Super, super fun, really in-depth. I did eventually feel like I ran out of things to do in it. Mostly from the fact that I ran out of... I liked fighting like 1 or 2 of me or 1 or 3 of me, depending on who I was flying with. So either alone or with 2 other people or 1 other person versus very large numbers of other people. And there was a limit how far you could push that. And I thought the PvP... I felt they kept shifting PvP to be more group-oriented in EVE at the expense of solo PvP, and I found that not fun. And honestly, the only reason I stopped EVE in the first place was I went to graduate school, and I didn't have time to play EVE and play and do graduate school. There's no time to have such an immersive MMO while simultaneously doing work. So, but that was an awesome game. I love Shadowbane too. Played on the PvP only server in Shadowbane. I had some of the most fun in my gaming career ever up to that point with Shadowbane. The fact that everything was player built, I loved. We had a, I don't know if this would date the time or not. I had a warlock for team fights that was a super high defense warlock. His whole ability basically rushed into a crowd of enemies and just would AoE life and mana drain them while being nearly invincible. Like the vast majority of random scrubs couldn't hit him because of his defense values, so it would be very, very difficult for the enemy to... It caused a lot of confusion and allowed me to call targets at a very, very close point of view, which was awesome. And I had some raiding characters, like centaur raiding characters with all the speed items, so I could fight 2 or 3 of us again on like 10 or 20 or 30. I remember I have a visual image of like this row of skulls. It's like this blob of like 30 or 40 chased me and like 1 other friend. We just had such high stamina and such high speed that we just pick off whoever get ahead of their group. And they couldn't catch us for hours and hours. I remember just doing that for hours and loving the hell out of that game. I have very fond memories of MMOs, and I'm looking forward to the next one that really grips me because there's so many cool things you can do with MMOs that are balanced well but aren't cookie cutter like WoW. Like WoW stuff was... There was no... Every warrior was basically every other warrior. It was very, very difficult to get any of these breakout builds in WoW. Where you could get breakout builds in EVE or in Shadowbane, if you spent some time gaming that out and figuring out how you wanted to do it, you could do that. I'm actually a little bit worried about what streaming's going to do for that, because like in EVE, for example, a big portion of how well you did was based on your opponent not knowing your setup. So if you're streaming it, your opponent knows your setup, and then they can counter that without interacting. And I would not be very pleased with that. Not be very pleased at all if that's how that game turns out with streaming. A bit worried about it, in fact. Do we take this gold? We have 1,500 here, and we have 1,500 here. This gold is 1,100. We're going to have at least 1 more fight in this dungeon. Probably we can get 17. I'll drop the onyx, I guess, for gold. If we pick up another onyx, I'm going to regret that, but otherwise. Also, I'm getting excited about talking about this, and I'm not paying a lot of attention to the game. We're going to skip this and come back so I can ditch food. Ideally. Food and shovels. Can't... Oh, we just threw out holy water. That sucks. We could have used it there. 1750 gold there. Damn. Yep. I've watched some Eve streams, and some of them are solo PvP streams. I've watched Zarvox Zarvox from time to time, and I watched Suetonia. Suetonia played when I played. He was actually in the same group. We were in Genos together. But I like staying alive. Like Suetonia, or not, Suetonia is pretty good about staying alive actually. But Zarvox does a lot of cheap fits that are, or not even always cheap fits, that brawl into guys and often die when they get reinforced. The enjoyment I took was from beating people, staying alive, like take from them everything, give them nothing. That kind of mentality was really, really fun to play in Eve. So I don't think I would enjoy this getting sniped, getting blobbed, getting some kills and considering it a win. That's just really not how I would feel about that. So. But I made Eve PvP videos. That was what got me into showcasing gameplay footage. That's why I'm doing streaming at all, to some extent, is because I had so much enjoyment out about sharing the successes I had in that game with other people. Let's go take this last fight for gold, and then walk our way out of this dungeon. I don't understand your question, or Oriana. Madman triple wolf. This is not an ideal last fight. This is gonna ramp my stress up for no reason. Oh, Jester. Come on, Jester next. Jester next. Oh god. All the wolves rolled. We're not in the right position to hit the Madman either. I was really hoping that would kill. And stun him if we go next. We're not going to go next. Accusation, at least, is only single target. Annoying. That's my graduate degree, and I have a master's in psychology. Doomsday. Rip.
The ground quakes.
Dodge again. It's 2 dodges out of the Hellmaster. Great. Alright, no action for him next round. Dead. Go keep your secret room, I know. You don't have inventory space for it anyways. We're not even losing that much by not being able to enter the secret room, or not being able to get the good stuff out of the secret room. He's gonna drop one of the boxes too, so we're gonna be stuck like that. So much gold.
Remind
Alright,
yourself that
these are the last 2
overconfidence
quest
is a
items.
Slow and insidious killer.
So we actually, it's, do we want to take gold or do we want to take the emerald? We don't, this is at 1500, this is at 700, we're going to toss the gold. So painful right now. Okay. What made me go into streaming instead of becoming a psychologist or whatever? Well, it was never on my radar as something that was actually something you could do for a living. Gaming. It was initially stress relief during graduate school. I mean, I gamed a lot all my life prior to that.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles.
So it would have actually been better to throw those out, but I can't take any of this right now at all. Unless I got rid of food, which I can't afford, so no. I'm throwing away so much money right now. What you mean, what made me leave graduate school? Well, I wasn't really sure. There were lots of aspects of graduate school I really liked, and parts I didn't. I was definitely feeling a little bit burnt out by the time I got my master's, and I was still going to be heading for my PhD, which was going to be another couple years. So some of it was that. Some of it I was really enjoying the streaming, and I'm like, oh, this might actually be a way I could also make a living, so that I could do something that, well, one other thing. I mean, I love psychology anyways. You know, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what exactly was the deciding point. A bit of burnout, a bit of frustration with how slow the academic process was. Some kind of amazement at, hey, I could game for a living, and do all right with that. Some of it was at the urging of my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, who was very supportive of the idea and was, you know, you should do what you love. You should, you know, pursue what you love. If you can, you know, if you can make that work, you should do that. I don't know exactly. It's a combination. Honestly, initially it was a trial period, right? So I tried it first, and then talked to my graduate advisor. And my graduate advisor said, you know, you could take a year leave of absence, and if it didn't work out for you, or you found at the end of that year of absence you wanted to come back to graduate school, you know, you'd still be in the program. You're just taking a year off, basically. So I did that for a year, and tried out streaming during that, and it was working out all right. It was paying the bills, although as a graduate student, the bar is very, very low. Graduate students make no money whatsoever. So the bar of making, you know, being able to survive when you would have been able to survive as a graduate student but not be able to survive as a streamer is really, really minimal, because it's like, you know, you're like, there's such a low amount of actual income you have to pull in. And did that for a year and decided that I wanted to see where this would bring me, and here we are. It's slow, hopefully it keeps building. So anyways, questions. The choice was to talk to crazy people. No, I wasn't a shrink, although I hear the joke. Everyone thinks when you say psychologist, you mean clinical psychologist. I wasn't a clinical psychologist. I was a social psychologist. I was a research psychologist with specialties in statistics and human sexuality. What was I going to do with my psych PhD in the end? Research? It would be research and teaching matter. So at a research and teaching institute. The research was what really grabbed me, although I like teaching, as you guys may know, when I do my educational stuff on this channel. I enjoy the interaction of
rare and exotic injuries
teaching in a classroom.
makes this place perfect for the study of suffering.
All right,